is CWC, sorry, CWC is core. And then CWE is either going to be Contempo or Essentials. It just depends on the next letter. And yes, we do have a glossy white in frameless for John that asked that question in the chat. Next letter, so we have our CWC, our CWE, or our CWR. So the next letter is going to determine whether it's framed or frameless. So our CWFR is our simplicity framed. Our CWFL is simplicity frameless. So those are the two catalogs, FR, FL, for simplicity, framed and frameless. Now for Contempo, Contempo is actually EL. So that's your Contempo catalog, is EL. If you do work with Essentials, your catalogs are EE or EF. EE is frameless and EF is framed. And just like with simplicity, you have that same last letter for core. So CWCR is framed and CWCL is frameless. Okay, now our catalogs are what some might consider a little bit more old school. So there's multiple steps. We don't have global style validation. We have the header where you have to choose each option individually over and over. Okay, so when we're in 2020, just gonna throw a little kitchen on here. So right now I chose the CWFR, so that's the simplicity framed catalog, which is where you would find your inset or overlay options with our full depth of product. So if I start, let's say we'll start with a base corner cabinet.
It's the same, right?
Drop in.
Wait, let me
So as you can see, when I dropped in my first cabinet, it did not automatically populate with like global style validation to help start choosing items. So what we need to do is obviously we'll go to our items tab and styles and pricing, and then to our catalog styles. And then, so we just have this one header option. So we have to double click on this each time and we'll go through each step. So it's always good to do this right off at the beginning, just to kind of get it out of the way. So go ahead and double click. So these are all our options. Now, you don't have to choose one for every single thing. So for like drawer pulls, unless you want to have that visual, you don't have to choose anything there. The door modifications, that's only if you're in frameless and you want the tip-on door feature, because we have that for our frameless offering. Same thing with PO type, you don't have to worry about that. That's just a back end information. So we'll start with our wall door styles. So when we're in simplicity, what we tried to do is we tried to break the doors up by category. So you have our slab door styles, you have our flat insert styles, a raised panel, and then the same two with applied molding. Now, all of our doors are either solid MDF or solid wood. There is no veneer center panel. Like for our shaker door, that is a reverse raised solid wood center panel. So if we go into our flat insert door styles, we'll go ahead and choose the Cranbrook. And then we'll go right back in again. We'll go to our next thing. So we go to base door styles. Same thing, we choose our door style. Then we go back in again. So our drawer front styles. So for drawer front styles, you have to choose your door again first, and then you get to choose your drawer front. So we choose a flat insert door. We chose the Cranbrook, so I'll click on that. And then here are your options. So your standard for the majority of our door styles is a slab header, unless it's otherwise noted. It's always going to be slab. Now your two options are either going to be PDF or PDFL. So PDF stands for panel drawer front, or as most people would say, 5-piece drawer front. So if we want a 5-piece drawer front across the board, we choose PDF. The PDFL feature allows you to do just the panel drawer front or 5-piece on the larger drawers. So every top drawer would be slab, and then any larger drawer would be 5-piece. Same cost, it's just a matter of look of whether you want the smaller drawer fronts to be slab or if you want everything to be 5-piece. So we'll go ahead and say 5-piece or panel drawer front. We go back in, we do our door hinge type. So for simplicity, you have the standard full overlay soft close hinge, or you have the options for your inset with a beaded face frame or inset with a square flush face frame. So if there is 3 letters after the hinge type, that signifies that it's a finial hinge. Now our finial hinges are faux finial hinges. So they're not functional. So you'll still get the concealed soft close hinge, but you'll get the applied finial hinge attached if that's what the customer is looking for. So if it doesn't have it, it's just the standard soft close hinge. If you have a 3-letter code after this, then it has one of the faux finials attached to it. So we'll go ahead and say inset square. All right, I'm not going to worry about door pulls. Now our edge front profiles, we have our 5 different edge profiles in there. E5 and E6 are going to be your most standard ones to choose. If you're doing inset, I do suggest that you do E6 because it looks the best, because it's a nice clean straight L edge, and inside the frame, whether it's beaded or square, it looks really nice with just that straight L edge. We'll go ahead and click that. Once we get into CPOPs, I'll be able to show you really nice visuals of everything when it comes to this stuff. So we'll go back into our header options. And like I said, we don't need to do door modifications because that's really just for our frameless if we want to do the tip-on door feature. For our drawer box type, we have our standard is a solid wood dovetail drawer box. You can upgrade in simplicity to either maple or walnut. So we'll go ahead and do our standard. We go back in again. We did our drawer box, now we'll do our drawer slide. So drawer slide, we'll just do the tandem full. You still get the left and right adjuster for whatever reason. It comes out broken, but it's still the same way. We'll go into header options again. So we did our door slides. So our interior type. So for simplicity, the standard interior is a natural maple veneer on our Pure Bond plywood. You can upgrade to a natural walnut interior, and that's a 7% upcharge, and that's listed there. So we'll go with our standard. Now, if we double click on our header options again, so we did our interior. So now we'll go to our, now we're going to wood species. So here are all of our different wood species. So everything is broken up. So it's not really by price column. It's based off of the complexity of the door. As you saw that some of the doors were a 5%, 10% upcharge. Same thing with wood species. We have those same upcharges as well. If you are painting, you do need to choose paint grade maple. You don't want to choose maple, you want to choose paint grade maple, or else it won't feed over correctly. And then we have our rustic woods as well listed. So we'll say that we're painting. And then our finish colors. So again, you're going to have to choose your wood species first, just kind of like what we did with the doors and the door fronts. So we'll go into our paint grade maple finish colors. And then here are all of our standard finishes for painting. Now we have both the super matte finishes in here as well as our standard polyurethane finishes. So you would just choose one of these. We'll choose icing. And once we get into CPOPs, I'll be able to show you our custom color program and all of the different custom colors that we have in there standard. So we'll go in here to header options one more time. Now, just to show you, I'm not going to choose either of these things right now, but so for wood treatments and finish treatments, this is where you would add glazes and also where you would add distressing. So for the wood treatments, that's where you're going to find all of the different distressing techniques. So those are all of the different upcharges to show all of those different distressing techniques if you want to add that. In the finished treatments, that's where you can add one of our 4 standard glazes for accent if you want. Okay, so now that we're done here, we can go ahead and close out of this. What I will do is I'll show you everything's fairly standard and straightforward in trying to find everything in here with the different cabinets and sorting features that you're used to with many other cabinet brands. So what I'll do is I'll just add a 24-inch base cabinet here. All of our cabinets up to 24 inches are only a single door. So if you want a double door base cabinet, like a base 24 or wall 24, what you would do is you'd go into the attributes. And then there's a modification in the add-ons here, and it's under door and drawer modifications. And the drawer front customizations. It's this modification right here, DR space 2. That takes your single door cabinet, and we'll change this to say all doors on the face side. And so it changes it from a single door to a double door. Okay. This is also where you'll find if you want to change to a peninsula cabinet, change your opening heights for your drawer or your doors. Internal accessories, if we wanted to make this a base cabinet with roll trays, our roll trays are pull-out trays. So what you would do is just click on the pull-out trays. Now, the thing I'll notate here, there's a difference between the pull trays that should be used for inset versus the pull trays that should be used for overlay. So PT is our standard pull tray, roll tray, and that can be used for all of your overlay cabinets. When you have the PT-S, those are the ones that have to be used for inset because we use a secure locking mechanism on either side by the face frame to secure it in place and to keep it inside the face frame so that it functions properly. So PT is your roll tray for your overlay cabinet, and PT-S will be the roll trays that you use for inset. So we'll select opening 2, which is where our doors are. And so I've added the pull tray to that, which you can't really see obviously, but it's there, I promise. Another thing that I'll show you is if you need to make any modifications to dimensions, dimensional modifications are all done in the attributes section. So say I wanted a 27.5-inch wide cabinet next to that 24. I would select the base 30. I'll drag and drop that in there. And then what we'll do is we'll just go into attributes. And we just need to change the width to 27.5. And it automatically will update. So anytime you need to change height, width, or depth, you just want to select a larger size cabinet and then you size down within the attributes. So there's no special modification to select to go down or to reduce, increase. You just select a larger size cabinet and scale down. What Crestwood does is they price everything by square foot of what it costs to build the cabinet, is what they charge, which is why in your catalogs, you won't see list pricing for anything other than like moldings and accessories and stuff like that, things that can't usually be modified. That's where you'll see pricing. But for stuff like this, we don't list pricing because you can modify it 6 different ways, and then it's all based off of what that end cost will be, right? Okay. So for our trash cans, good thing to know, our rollout waste bin is going to be the most common one that you'll use. It's a BRWB, so a roll waste basket. So if it's singular, it's a 15-inch single can. We also have an 18 and a 21 standard with two cans in there. You can do a 24-inch two trash. That part just has to be done in C-pops to make that change from 21 to 24. But we can easily drag and drop that in there. Okay. Let's see here. I'm gonna go ahead and switch to core so I can kind of show you a little bit of everything here. We'll do core frameless. So if we do a wall cabinet, we'll do a wall corner cabinet actually. Start with one. So as you can see, we have a bunch of different standards. So we have, like, for wall cabinets, we've got 12-inch, 15-inch. In framed, we even go 18, 21, 24 to try to give that different depths and different widths. So then you can take those and then scale down to what you need it to be. So we'll do here, just throw this corner. So I will really quickly go through this just to show you the differences between framed and frameless. So when I go into the styles and pricing for the frameless, you're going to get the same types of options. You'll get the same choice for your door styles that are available within. So in this case, core, you have less door styles to choose from. And then same thing for drawer front styles. We'll just don't really need to do this because there's no drawer front, but we still have to choose it because of our header options. Hinge. So obviously for frameless, you only have the one hinge option. There's no other choice. It's just the Euro hinge with soft close. Profiles. Again, we're just going to choose E6 because that's going to be your most common one. So door modifications, we can do horizontal grain. When you're in simplicity, in this option, you'll also see the tip-on feature and vertical grain matching as well when you're doing simplicity. Do the box. Solid wood is our standard for core in frameless. In simplicity, you have more options for the Blumlegra drawer boxes. Drawer slides, we've got, so in core, the standard drawer slides are soft close, but 7/8 extension. And then you can also upgrade to the full extension drawer boxes if you want. That's between the height difference, that's really kind of your main difference with like the drawer boxes, is that the standard is a 7/8 pull versus the full extension. So for your interior types for core, your standard is actually a maple melamine interior on the Pure Bond plywood. You can upgrade to the Pure Bond. So if you are mixing and matching, you can do the maple veneer instead of the maple melamine. So you have a couple of different options there of mixing and matching and trying to match, or if you don't need to, you don't have to. And so for wood species in core, obviously you can tell that you're more limited on what you have available for your wood species. You also have the veneers. For this, you've got the 7 different veneers that are available. Quarter gold teak is a really nice one. In simplicity, obviously you have more options with that. Finish colors, we got that actually. Finish colors would be the video. So we're good there. Did that? Okay. Okay. Sorry, now I'm hitting like 10 things. There we go. All right. For our, when you're doing glass, we prep the doors for glass. We can finish the interiors, but we do not currently provide glass for the cabinets. So that's just something to keep in mind as you're going through. So just there. Okay, so when we're in here, go to do our door and door mods, and then we can do our glass doors. And so then we have our prep option to prep the door for glass. There you go. So it is a two-step process. You do have to prep, and then if you want to finish interior, you need to go into construction modifications and finish interior. Go ahead and click that, and then that'll finish the interior to match the exterior. Now, when you do finish the interior for any of our cabinets, that does automatically finish the bottom. It doesn't do a flush bottom, but it does finish the bottom as the entire cabinet is basically being made for that color. So for our ends, let me go back to our framed offering here. Go to our cabinet here. Show our different ends that's available. So this is going to show us all of our ends. Now, not all of our ends are available in core, so you can't do a flush finished end like the integrated to do the lock miter. That's not available. So what we're going to look at here is our standard finished end are going to be the FEPs, left, right, or both. That is going to finish to give almost like a furniture type look finish, because of our reveal, it's only 3/30 seconds. So it's an extremely tiny little notch there between the face frame and the end panel. Now you can do a an FFEP is a flush finished end with a butt joint from the end panel and the face frame butted together, sanded down, puttied, and then finished together as one box. Now, what Crestwood recommends if you're trying to do a flush finished end is this EPFL finished end, because that is the true full lock miter joint to bring the face frame and the end panel together, to have absolutely no seam, and it's extremely strong joint. So that's what they recommend. Yes, Barbara, I can do that. So then if we want to do a door on end, a couple different options there. So if you need a functional door on end, you're going to choose the DOE. If you are, you want the door attached, that would be a DRA. I personally would not recommend doing the DOEF, just because I don't think it lines up as nice as the DRA, or if for the decorative panel, the DPA lines up perfectly. So when you're trying to do inset, I always suggest doing the DPA flush to match up the line with the top of the drawer and the bottom of the door to have that line up correctly front to side. Okay. Here. Thank you. All right, to do the end panel to bring the face frame down, you're actually going to do that in the toe space mods. So if you're trying to do that, that's going to be a no EP notch. So if I click on that for the right, that's going to bring my little thing up here. 2, 3. Okay. So that brings our end panel and style down so that we could wrap our base molding around, or if we just are trying to have a nice look for the end panel side there to dead in our toe kick to, you can do that as well. does anybody have any specific questions on 2020 on they were trying to design something, couldn't find it, want me to show a specific type of cabinet or for any of the lines within Crestwood? Okay, I will take silence as everybody does everything.
I don't know if anyone's asking because they're muted.
Did you have a question, Carmi?
No, I was
Oh, you
just
go off.
checking in, making
No.
sure that if they're asking questions to unmute themselves.
Now I'll really quickly, because a question got brought up, the difference between essentials and core. So basically the main difference is it's more limitations. So it's even less store styles, it's less colors. You are in just a standard plywood construction, but it's just in all reality, it's just a little bit more limited. So it's kind of scaling down even more. So there are most popular SKUs, our most popular door styles and colors. It's a very limited offering when it comes to essentials versus what's available in core. Okay. So what I will do now is, since there's no yes, it's the same type of finish, but the color names, I believe, are a little bit different, as are the door styles. So the door styles have different names in essentials than they do in core. So the names in core and simplicity are exactly the same. There's just more names in simplicity, obviously, because there's more door styles available. But everything in essentials is kind of broken out into its own little like cocoon of door style names, color names. But obviously, you know, you've got a couple whites, you've got a couple grays, you even have a blue and a couple stains as well within there to kind of get that base offering in there. Okay. All right, so now if we want to take our 20 same drawer boy quality, so you're still getting the Blum glides, it's just at a cheaper price point. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to take our 2020 design that we did here and we're going to bring it into CPOPs. So I will take note of everybody that's on here, and you're going to get this nice little document of CPOPs, or 2020 to CPOPs import instructions. So what we do is we go to our presentation, we go to our reports, and what we need to do is look at our order form. So when we go into order form and hit OK, there are certain check boxes that need to be selected in order for all of the information to pull over into CPOPs correctly. So I already had checked my boxes when I had 2020 open without anything and saved it. So all of this is preset, but once you set it without anything open and save it, it should, in all reality, if 2020 is being nice to you, save and continue on so that you don't have to worry about this every single time. So if we hit view, what you're going to do is you're going to export this file as a text file. So we're going to hit export in the text format. And what we will do is save this to our desktop. And then, so what I will do now is we're going to change our share. Set the screen. Okay, I forgot CPOPs shut down because it restarted. All right, so everybody should have this lovely little Crestwood logo icon on their desktop. If you don't, please get in touch with your rep or Trevor in our IT department at Crestwood will help walk you through getting it installed on your computer help troubleshoot any issues that you have, because sometimes firewalls will block it thinking it's unsafe, but it's just because it's an older programming. Sometimes it triggers flags, but I promise it is safe to have on your computer. It is a good program. So
Love
do
the
is
background, by the
double
way.
click this, get this open. Let's set this so that it's change that so it's not so complicated here. There we go. Screen can stop. Try this again. Sure. Okay, there we go. All right, so you'll get a couple of options. So once you've created your user ID, will be there. So whatever you set your name as, will be right there. You hit OK. So you'll just pretty much anything that pops up here in the beginning, you'll just say yes or okay to, just because it's about configuring to make sure that everything's set up correctly for you. Apparently has a lot of, there we go. Okay, so what's going to happen is you're going to come to your landing page. Now, obviously, this will be different for everybody because it's going to be based off of your account. So when you open it, your account will come up and all of your orders up here are all the orders that are currently in production. Anything that's down here at the bottom is pending. So once you send an order in, after about an hour or so, it'll populate here in the bottom portion. And it will stay here until you actually reply back to the confirming email with the word release. So we don't release anything to production until you tell us that you're ready to release it. So we want to try to make sure that we limit as many errors as possible. We try to give you as much time as you need. We don't limit you to just the 2-day lead time turnaround that some other companies do. Okay, so if we have our 2020 order form file, we're gonna come here. So we have shortcuts up here to the right-hand side. We're gonna do a new quote. This is what you're gonna do if you're importing a 2020 or if you're just coming in to do a quick quote. Say somebody walked in, you had to walk in and they're just, hey, I need a 36-inch vanity. You can come right in here instead of designing it out in 2020 and pricing it that way. You can just come in here, go to new quote, you'll hit OK. This automatically pushes your estimated order date out 2 months. So you don't have to worry about that. If you're importing from 2020, it's okay. Whatever you choose, you can choose anything. If you're coming in to do an actual quote, you want to choose the line that you want to work with. So you have your different face frame products as well as your frameless products. Hit OK. Now, when you're importing, there's a button right here above the save and exit that says import 2020 design. So if we click on that, we're going to say yes, we wanted to overwrite our settings. So we're going to find our file, saved on the desktop, so there it is. So we'll find our text file and hit OK. And then it's going to ask you a couple questions. Yes, we want it to match. So since we had 2 different cabinets in there from different catalogs, it asked me which one I want to import. So we're going to import our inset maple icing. So as you can see, it populated everything into the header that I had put in from the header in 2020. So we've got our drawer box, we've got our drawer slide, we've got our door style, our edge profile, hinging, drawer fronts. So everything comes through. So there's very small amount that you still have to do. Anything that's red has to be filled out prior to you going to line items. If you try to go to line items, before those things are filled out, you're going to get a error message that things are missing, that needs to be corrected before you can move forward. So I'll really quick just go in and select our standard. So we have our standard lead time, which is currently 11 weeks, but from the look of what I just saw, might be now going to 12 weeks. And then we have our 2 expedited options. You can quick ship in 8 weeks for 5% and quick ship for 7-week lead time for 10%. So you have those different options there that you can choose from. Okay. We'll just change this to test. Room name. Now, for your ship method, CTK is Crestwood truck. All of our cabinets are delivered on our own personally branded Crestwood trucks. The drivers are Crestwood employees. So you're going to have very, very limited shipping, if any, shipping damage. Our guys know how to handle things properly. They're very careful. They're very knowledgeable. So that's one of the benefits I've found with working with Crestwood. They really have a good attention to detail with that. If you are traveling through the middle of the country and you want to stop in Salina, Kansas and pick up, which is PU, pick up your cabinets or some door styles or chip samples, you're more than welcome to do that. Just click PU. And then obviously UPS and UPSO, which is UPS and UPS overnight. So click that. Now our WH's warehouse, that's based off of the information that was imported in CPOPs when we set up your account. And then JS's job site, if you're doing job site delivery. Now, the really great thing when you're in CPOPs is you get to see a lot of visuals. So if we go into here to the door styles, you can click on different door styles and then you can see the blow up of that door and the information on how wide the rails and styles are, what the center panel is. You can get really great detail from all those. You can also sort, just kind of like what we were doing in 2020. You can look at all the flat insert doors. You can look at the rough hewn doors. All of your different options are in there, and you can choose from there. Same thing with our edge profile. When you go into the edge profile, you can see, so the E6, like I said, was that straight L edge, but you can do, the E5 has that eased L. The E34 has that more decorative edge. E16 has that kind of like eased decorative edge. And then E13 right there. It's got that little notch right there. So, but okay. So I have to change this interior box finish because that didn't populate correctly. Fix that really quick. All right, so like I was saying with our painted finishes, when you go into the finish color, you can see all of these SPC numbers. So those are our special color numbers. You can filter. So if you're trying to match a specific Benjamin Moore color or Sherwin-Williams, you can actually click that. These are going to be all of the colors that we have previously matched. So with that, you don't have to pay a match fee. It's purely going to be just whatever percentage upcharge is for that painted finish. Our standard is 8%. So typically you're either here at a 13 or an 18. And that's based purely off of how many coats it takes to get the color to match up right. So typically, obviously your lighter colors are going to be 13 and the darker colors will be 18. We put all of the Benjamin Moore and Sherwin-Williams names here. So unfortunately, they're not in alphabetical order, but they are in numerical order by the special color. If you are on here, you can hit next. There probably are more colors to list. So if, like for Benjamin Moore, they have 2 pages. If you can't find something or if you have a question, don't hesitate to call customer service and ask them, hey, I'm trying to match Benjamin Moore Purple Power. And they can check to see, all right, have we matched that before? Okay, yes, we have. It's SBC, 3145 or whatever the case may be. If it hasn't, then the match fee is $150. And what we'll do is we'll match that specific color on a door style that you select. Okay. Okay. Now, once we're able to get into line items, you might get some warnings. So like for inset, we try to put warnings up there to remind you that the interior for a 12-inch inset cabinet depth is only going to be 10 5/8. So if you have somebody with really big plates, you're going to want to increase the depth of your wall cabinets for your inset. Okay. Now, once you're in here, you have a couple different ways of doing things. So you've got your item list here. You actually have a checkbox here to show modifications and attached accessories. When you do that, that pulls everything out. So that base 24 that we had, it shows that, okay, we changed to have 2 doors and we've got a pull tray. For that trash can, we added that flush door on the right-hand side and then no EP notch, the toe kick notch, took that out. If you want to add a mod, you would just add a mod, say, oh, hey, let's do this square because that was the other side. So let's say we want to add a modification to add the door to the other side. So you can search by end panel modifications, which of course it's not going to show that. Sometimes it's silly and doesn't do that. Modifications, there we go. So you can go down if you know the nomenclature that you're looking for, you can scroll down here, or you can go ahead and type it in. So if we're just doing a DPA to match on the left. And so it shows you images from the catalog, gives you the full description from the catalog. Confirm, save, and then it adds that modification to the cabinet. Now, let's say we missed a base cabinet. So we're going to add a line item. So the great thing is when you're in here for your line items, when you double click on this left-hand side, it is going to bring up the images from the catalog. So you're able to see visually all of the different things in our catalog of, okay, the cookware organizer, or okay, so this is this type of trash can unit, or having the timbre table or the corner or the Lazy Susan and the book. So you're able to choose and visually see all the different options that are available. And then, so let's say we want to do a 4-door base. And then you can literally tell it exactly how wide, high, and deep you want it to be. So I can say 18.5. I could change the height if I wanted to. I could change the depth. You can do all of that, and then it populates for you. Now, if you have a door cabinet and it's a single door, you'd have to choose hinge. For your finished ends, this is just your standard finished end if you wanted a standard finished end. If you wanted to add a modification, you can add a modification or just hit save. And that will add that line item to your quote. So just like with bases, when we're looking at our moldings or our furniture vanities, anytime you double click on this left-hand side, it'll bring up the catalog images to show you exactly what it is. So you know, okay, yes, that's the type of base molding I need, or this is, the type of riser. So speaking of riser, I'll actually show that. So for our riser molding, typically what we'll do is the standard E6 L edge top and bottom. You can change those if you wanted to have a decorative edge to the bottom. You can also change your height up to 6 inches. So you can change that. Okay. And then that calculates out for you. Same when you're doing our light rail molding. So our light rail molding is LRM. So it's got a little notch here that you just set up here on the bottom of the cabinet, and a little bit of overlap. You get to choose your upper edge profile and your lower edge profile. So you could do just straight E6 top and bottom. You could do a more decorative to the top and a straight bottom, or you can do decorative top and bottom. You just have to say what you want it to look like, and then it populates for you. Now, when you're doing appliance cabinets, so let's say we'll open our talls here. So if we're doing a tall oven, we can do our TOD is our tall oven with one drawer. And then you have your cutout one, you can have two cutouts, lots of different options for doors and drawers and openings and flush and all that kind of stuff. So we'll say that we want to follow in. So we'll say 30 by 96 by 24 inches deep. And then once you do that, if it has a cutout available, you're going to be able to open to enter your cutout width and height. So we'll say it's 26 and 54, because those sound like really nice numbers. Okay. Again, you get those options to do that same thing when we get to it's pretty self-explanatory as you go through. So let's say for like a wainscot panel, if we're doing a wainscot panel for the back of an island, when we add an island, we have the decorative panels and doors. So in this, when you just click once, it filters the list here. When you double click is when it brings that whole screen up with all of the images. So if we just clicked once, we get our list. So here's our appliance panels. So we've got appliance panel for a door, appliance panel if you want it to look like the doors. Our DCPB is our base decorative panel, or wainscot panel. T is obviously tall, and W is wall. So we'll pretend that we're doing a DCPB. And when you hit either enter or confirm, you get to enter your width and your height. So we'll say we want it to be 80 inches wide, and we'll keep the standard 34.5 height. So when you hit OK, it's going to ask you how many inserts you want in width. So we'll say you want 4 inserts wide, and we'll leave 1 tall. If you have somebody that wants to do 2 tall or even 3 tall, if you're doing something different, you can do that. That's why the option's there, because that's why we try to be as custom as we can. So once you do that and hit save, that will populate in the list here. So it shows here on the left-hand side, it shows you have 4 inserts wide, 1 insert high for that panel. Now, let's say the contractor gave me the wrong measurements, and now I need to change this panel from 80 to 96. I can click on the nomenclature. And if I hit confirm again, it'll let me come back in to change this. So, all right, now instead of 80, it's going to be 96, same height. Okay. Yep, we're okay to keep it at 4 inserts wide. They'll just be wider. Same with the height. We'll keep it at 1. And then we can hit save. And then you can see how that updated automatically for us when we made that change. Okay. Once you are ready to get the quote, you have to process your quote in order to be able to get the pricing. So when you click on process quote, this is connecting to our server at the plant, making sure, everything's correct, that there's no faults that happen that you can't do. It also adds in the upcharges based off of your selections from the header. So we've got our 3% upcharge for our panel drawer front 5-piece header. We've got our 8% for our standard painted icing finish. And then we've got our 5% upcharge for our square inset hinge. So there's 2 places that you'll be able to see the price. So when you're if you go back to header, right here, you actually have dealer costs. So the $59.71 and 93 cents, that's your dealer cost for all of these cabinets before any tax. But let's say, hey, I want to see it broken out. I really want to understand what each item is. If you go to print quote, you actually have the option to show with pricing, without pricing. You have a lot of customization options here. But if you go to print, the first page that's going to come up is
They
your
can ship
selection. So
11
I'm sure a
weeks.
bunch of you have already seen this from us before, but this is our selection review. So everything from the header is populated on this page.
20% up.
So you've got your customer name and room name, what line you're working in.
20%
You've got your
plus
door
20%.
style descriptions.
They're gonna
What
expedite
your
it.
drawer front is going to look like, your edge profile, hinging, drawer box, so on and so forth. And then we do have a customer sign off on the bottom. It is not required to send to us. We do not require that at all, but it's something we try to create to help you guys if you want to use that in your contract signing process, so that you have that backup of your customer. Hey, you did choose icing. You didn't say that you wanted bottle green type thing. So you're able to print either a hard copy, or you can print to PDF and save it electronically into their customer file. If you don't need that selection sheet, you can just click the little X up here on the right-hand side. There we go. And then the next page that'll pop up is the quote. So your account information is up here at the top. This section shows all of your door style, your drawer front hinging is here, your edge profile that you chose, your wood species. If you had wood treatments, they would be here, your finish. And then these are all your cabinets. So your drawer box, your glides, your interior. And then if you have finished treatments like glazes, that would go here as well. So everything's broken up line by line, shows each modification, every cost list. And then because I left everything the same, it shows me my total list, shows me my tax, and then what the dealer cost is. And again, you can print off a hard copy or print to PDF and save it.
5 cabinets, 6,300.
5 cabinets, 6,000.
If you're ready to place an order, you have to process a quote before you're able to place it. But if we're ready to place it,
What's the discount?
let's say, okay, because we had that oven cut out. If we go
They
here,
went
there's
down.
a
Maybe it varies per month,
see,
like the waypoint.
space SHTS. And if you click on that, that's where you can add any documents or images. So you can add images of your layouts or PDFs from your 2020 design, or if you hand draw anything related to your order, you can attach to this. And when you place the order, that gets sent along with the order to customer service. So if you have appliance specs, your elevations, your layouts, if you're trying to do something custom and you want to hand draw a cabinet to say, hey, this is what I want the top to be, the bottom, and the everything, you can do it that way. So you would just find your file and hit OK. And then the number of attachments would populate here. So once you're ready to send an order in, you would just click on place order. And if there are notifications, so in this case, the notification is going to be about the inset depth of the wall cabinets. You would go ahead and click through that. You'd enter your name. And okay. Now, because we have those quick ship options now, we do tell you if you wanted to do the quick ship 1 option, your lead time, your cost is this. If you did the set 2, it would be this, and that's cost. That's not list. That's what would be added to the end of your order if you chose to do that. So you would select that. You can put any remarks in here to customer service that you want. Everything will feed through to them, and it gets assigned. It'll go into a general bucket, and then it gets assigned out to one of the different customer service reps. Once you're ready, you hit send order, and then it's gone. It's good. It's into their system. And then, like I said, everything stays in that pending process until you reply back that it's released, it's good to go to production. Because I'm not going to send this order in, I'll hit cancel. So I have that safety net. Okay, so I'm going to open it up for questions so that whoever would like to ask questions can go ahead and ask questions, because I'm sure you guys have a bunch. Don't all speak at once.
Hi, so if there were two colors, you would do the upload process twice. In this situation, you pick the
I mean,
one
if
color.
nobody has questions, I can let you guys go early. But
So if there, Kelly was
any-
asking if there's two colors.
anybody have anything?
Can you hear me?
Anything that they wanted to see that they didn't see from me, or
You're not
questions?
listening. Somebody's asking you a question.
Any way, shape, or form of anything? And we got something in the chat. Kelly's asking about two colors. I can't, well, actually, no, I can't hear, can I? All right, let's try this again. Who would like to talk? And then maybe I can hear somebody because I hit the wrong button on my computer. Okay, see?
Someone was asking
There we go.
if there's two colors, so this process has to be done twice.
Yes. So if you have two colors, so like for instance, like what we did in our in the design, I had the framed one color and then the frameless another color. We would do that same import step twice. So once you finish this, you'd hit save and exit. I'll go ahead and hit save and exit. And then you would do new quote again and hit OK. And then we'll just do that same process again. So we'll do import. We want to overwrite those settings. And then desktop, right? Training, there it is. And here, we want to match. So we did our pink maple. So now we're going to do our cortison. So, and all that populates. So then we can add in what was missing, make those updates. Do all of the red items in our header. Okay. Okay. Got to use rubber. Okay. Yep. Well, let's change our door style then. Studio door. Studio door. Now we get one. There we go. Okay. So then we have that second. So, and you can do it if it's two different paint colors. Just when you're selecting in 2020, when you're designing, it'll pull those two things separate. So like I did, when you import the 2020 design, it'll show, okay, this is icing, this is pebble, or whatever the case may be, however you differentiate that. So then you just do that process twice and then everything will populate over for you.
And then is there a way those two get synced together? Do you use the same PO? How do you know
Yeah,
those?
so you
are
can
together?
either do the same PO number or if so the customer number. So like right now, so I did test for both of them. So if I go ahead and save this, you can go in here to open quote in the shortcuts. And when you open quote, what it'll do is it'll sort by name. So it sorts by, and you can actually sort how you did it. So you can sort by your last edit. You can sort by the customer name, your dealer PO. There are a lot of different ways to do it. So I can do it by edit. And then so I can look at today, I have my two test orders. So I have my kitchen. When I open that back up, that'll show us the inset. So all those cabinets that we have for the inset. Okay.
So then everything ships together. Like
Yep, and everything will ship together. So as long as you
put in.
release
Okay.
the orders at the same time. So
Okay.
if I go out of here for a second, as long as you release the orders at the same time, our release dates are on Mondays. So as long as, so for next Monday, let's say, so 8/16, so as long as it's released by the end of the day on Monday, it'll ship with standard lead time the first week of November. And then here are the different brush options that are getting updated. So we keep this shipping commitment up here in the upper left-hand corner to kind of keep it, to keep you guys aware of, okay?
Wow, they can deliver in 8 weeks.
Yes, so you
Okay.
can do,
Yeah,
right
as
now,
long
up
as,
until Monday, you can pay
Yeah.
10% and get a 7-week lead time.
7 weeks. There's also 7 weeks.
Well, there's seven until Monday, and then that 7 unfortunately is changing to 8 weeks. So the EO Cab 1 is you pay 10% and get
See?
the
You pay
quickest lead time.
10%.
Sorry, go ahead, what?
No, I'm in mute.
Okay, so the quickest lead time is it's a 10% upcharge to do that. And then for the next one up, which is currently 8 until Monday, which is going to go to 9 weeks, is a 5% upcharge to get that quicker lead time. So in all reality, I typically say I wouldn't send in an order any later than Thursday, just to give customer service a full day to be able to receive the order in, review it, and then send it back to you. But they're pretty quick about getting things turned around. I will say our customer service tries to take a little bit more care of that. That's why they want you to attach any elevations or layouts to your order along with the appliance specs, just to make sure that you didn't miss anything. So they kind of like to do that courtesy review, especially with new dealers, as you're learning things, to say, hey, you know, on your island, you have the DPA door panels on the end, but on here you have a DRA, and then here you have just a straight finished end. So which one do you want to use? Just to try to kind of be that double check screener for you to make sure that we're not messing stuff up either way. So if I go back into, we'll go back into that quote really quick, and I'll show you, let's go to the last edit. We can show where that appliance spec is here. So back in, so we'll open our quote, and then right here, where the bold lettering is where you're gonna, if you click on the wording, it pulls up your file dialog box, and then you can just choose where your file is. So we'll just say, actually have, and you might have to change your file type to allow all file types so you can see it. But I'll go ahead and click on this one and hit OK. And then so that added that document to the order. So when it gets sent in, that document gets sent with it. Anybody else have any other questions?
I had a couple of questions.
Yeah, Brandon, go ahead.
So, hey, so I am doing a showroom and we're setting up our Contempo line for the front of our showroom that we're doing together. And so I was told that the Contempo isn't really in 2020 right now. So there's no way to export that into CPAPs.
No, we can do that. So
Really?
when we're in here, so if I go to that EL catalog,
Mm-hmm. So, okay, so I guess the EL, but like maybe what I would say, right? So I guess that, but like I'm sorry, channel
the channel modifications.
yeah, the channel modifications is what I was looking
Okay.
at. Sorry, I was going through my notes here. I couldn't
Yeah,
find
let me check here really quick. I can pull out just a standard. I'll wait for word. Sorry for going through the quick things. Okay. All right. so Contempo, we got our EL. So for Contempo, Aurora and Augusta are going to probably be your most typical door styles that you use.
Uh-huh.
Those are just the ones that are typically allowed for every single type of finish. So, and really the difference is just the matter of the edge banding, whether the edge banding is done first, and then the face and back are done, or if it's vice versa, where the face and front are done, and then it's edge banded all the way around.
Okay. So I had a couple of questions about like the channel lighting itself. You know, so I've on the outside of my design, I've got the two utilities, and I've got 2 3 doors on the inside of that, and then one single, just a door and a double door, a 27-inch. And so I wanted to get channel lighting on both sides of the utility panel, and then running along that. So I was assuming, so I was looking up in the catalog book that I would need to put panels on both sides of the utilities in order to be able to run the channel vertical LED ready. Is that correct? Would you know?
Yes. So if you want to run it vertical,
Yeah,
I'm
and
trying
I
to
believe
think of
they're
where
like 3/4 of
where
an
you
inch.
would have the power supply. So yes, you're gonna probably I'll scream for 1 second. Thank you.
And then also, I would probably have to do a mod on that with the mod chan vert, is what it's
Yeah.
saying. So I'm just trying to, because I'm new to this program as well, and you've
Yeah.
also got me doing some trying to figure out all the modifications for running the channel lights. So I want to be able to run lighting across the top channel in all of the, like my 3 doors and the single door, with the 2 door pullouts in the middle. And then we're doing vertical pulls. And are there channel, well, I'll let you go back to the utilities first before I start bombarding you with more questions.
Oh, no, that's fine. Yeah, because I mean, depending on what you choose,
Mhm.
because it depends on the lighting that you choose. You can choose to just do the, instead of the chase, the wire chase, which would mean you need the panels, you could do the LED route, which would route the inside of the cabinet. But I'm not, I don't
You
know
could
if
do,
that's how
you
wanna
could do
handle
that
it.
instead of doing the panels with the LED lighting?
Yeah, so instead of having to do the panels, if you did the LED route, which is on page L6 and L7, that's where you have the top, sides, and bottoms. So you could, it's on just on the interior is where those LED strips are, and that you can that are routed in, and then you can put the strips in, and then you
So-
can use the cover too for it.
So if I had a utility and I'm doing a utility 24 by 96, if I did that, the LED route, it would go along the edge of the whole of the talls?
Yeah, so you could have it either 4 or 6 inches in from the front of the cabinet box, and then
Okay.
it would route. You can have it just routed on the side. You can have it routed on both sides and the top. However you want to line it up is
But it would be 4 to 6 inches in from either side,
from the front of the cabinet box.
from the front of the cabinet box?
Yeah.
Okay, and so if we just wanted to like light the outside, then the panels would be the best way to go on that. If we wanted to light around the utility,
Yes.
correct?
Yeah, if you
Okay.
want to light around, you want to do the outside. If you
Okay.
want to light the actual interior of the cabinet itself, then the route would be the best way to go.
Oh, so this just does interior.
Yes, that would be the
Oh, okay, gotcha.
interior. So
Yeah, so, I
yeah,
mean,
if you are
'cause-
trying to light up the exterior around it, then you do want to do the paneling and the outside.
Okay, and so that would be the L channel vertical LED ready, correct? For that,
Yes.
okay, and they're the 4 panels. All right, and then so for the bases, I've got like a rendering here. So for my bases, I've got the C channel ready. C chan char, and that it was saying it goes on the top of the routing channel cabinets. So would that be that first route in there above, like right below the, like the first drawer pull, I guess?
Yes, it would be, yes, it would be right there.
Okay, so
Yeah.
like, and that would be able to route all the way across, correct? I just have to order like three
Yes,
for
you
each
can
cabinet?
route all the way across.
Okay,
That's fine.
and since I'm breaking it up in the middle, because I have the two-door pull in the center, are there any lights to route the middle drawers? I didn't see one, but I wasn't sure if that C channel would work also.
Yeah,
I
that's you. She's looking for you, but I'm texting her.
think
I don't know why
so.
she's
I
looking
have to
for
double check
you.
with
I know,
customer
right now,
service
I'm texting her.
Okay.
She's
to
looking.
make
Oh,
sure.
okay.
And I don't know if we'll,
Don't
Will you do
answer
that?
this because I
I
said,
just wanted to confirm.
because after she.
Yeah.
In,
Yes, she's gonna get back to
so
you.
is there anything else, like, I mean, I might have to just add some more questions that I can email Mike or yourself, just
Yeah.
as I go along, because we're trying to get this ordered in, pretty soon, so we're doing it all in the Contempo, the EL, but I just wanted to confirm about the lighting stuff and making sure that I had all the hardware to go along with what I needed for the bases and the bases and the talls and the
Yeah,
utility.
just ask me or Mike or anybody in customer service would be able to verify
Okay.
with the different like C channels and different things that you're selecting. Like they can steer you in the direction of, okay, it's going to be this hateful lighting that you need or this Richelieu. Like the
Okay,
customer service, I will say, has been a godsend to me because they are so intelligent. I mean, they've been there so long, like they know the line inside and out. Now, like I'll tell you, like Rod is the specific person. If you have it like a Stanisi hood that you want custom quoted,
Yeah.
he will do all of that for you. Dwayne, I have found, is like brilliant when it comes to
yeah, I've
jobs
been
and
I've been
trying
conversing
to-
with Dwayne as well about some other things, and yeah, he knows a
Exactly.
lot.
So
Yeah,
you
he's
guys are
definitely
gonna
helped me out.
find your go-to people in customer service that are
Sure.
gonna be your new best friends. And they are so nice and so helpful that you're gonna be really
Right
happy.
on. Hey, I do have one more question. I'm doing the finger pulls for the wall cabinets.
Mhm.
And do the finger pulls work on the vertical lifts as well? I couldn't,
That I'm not sure about. I don't know that. I'll look really quick. I don't know that they.
Yeah,
Oh, yes. So there's a channel vertical lift.
okay,
So yeah, so we do have that option. So it's just that.
okay, it's just that, all right. But it's, so what I saw on the, I guess on the, in the spec book is that they're on the sides. But I was talking about like underneath the, so the channel, like the finger pulls go underneath the cabinets. And the vertical for the vertical lifts, those go horizontal or vertical. I mean, obviously it says vertical,
Yeah.
but that'll go on the sides, correct? I mean, I was trying to get lighting
Yes.
for the underneath all of it.
Yeah, it goes on the side.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Just,
Huh?
I think as I was saying it, I was like, oh, that's, yeah. Like dumb
Sometimes it
question.
just comes to you. It'll make sense eventually. I promise.
Yeah, yeah. All right. All right, well, I think that's about it for myself.
Okay.
Appreciate it.
Well, while other people are thinking, if you have other questions, what I will say is every few days, at least I would say once a week, definitely click on this check for updates button in the upper in your toolbar here. That connects to our servers. Anytime we've noticed an issue with an error, or if we, so like recently we just had a huge update to include the new door styles and the new colors, different things that we're adding in and pulling together, doing that and letting the system update and populate everything again, making sure it's all together and up to date. It's really beneficial to keep things flowing properly for you. And I'll also say, if you click on any of these reference numbers when they're in your orders in production, you're able to click on that number. And what it will do is it'll pull up your confirmation. So if I change this share, because I know it didn't populate for you to see. it'll automatically bring this up for you. So you have the whole confirmation that you get via email. You can see everything pulled out again to see your line items, everything that you have for that order.
Right.
All right, and then same thing, you got your projected delivery. So dates are going to be Mondays. Our trucks typically leave Sunday or Monday, and then they'll get to our area somewhere between Tuesday and Thursday, just depending on where you guys are all located. And the driver, you'll probably get a call from Sabrina first to give you an idea of, hey, this is when we're estimating our truck to arrive. And then you'll usually get a call either the day before or even the day before and the day of from the actual truck driver to say, hey, you know, I'm running early, or hey, I'm running right on time. I should be to your location by X time. Or hey, it took a little longer to unload this large order at this last place. You're next, I'm on my way. I'm X amount of time away from you. So we try to keep the lines of communication open and flowing so that you guys are on top of everything as we go through everything. Okay. Anybody else have any other questions?
On the shipping for job site delivery, would they communicate with me as the rep or the homeowner?
Whoever you list as the phone number.
Perfect,
So-
thank you.
Yeah, so whatever phone number you put down for the job site delivery, that's the number that they're calling to coordinate. Hey, I'm going to be there at such and such a time. Now, I will say, if we are personally doing the job site delivery for you, your job site has to have access for a 53-foot full scale tractor trailer to deliver there. If our tractor trailer can't get there, you're not able to do job site delivery. So you're going to want to use a CDS, a J&J, a PJ's to do the final mile delivery for you if you need that. We've just had some issues, and since there are personal trucks, we try to take extra care not to drive them down roads that they shouldn't be going on, or, you know, trees and power lines and stuff that could damage things. So just keep that in mind if you decide to do job site delivery.
Perfect, thank you.
Oh, no problem. Does anybody else have any other questions? Okay, well, I mean, if everybody's good, I can let you guys go about the rest of your afternoon. And go ahead.
If we have a job site delivery well, we can't do job site delivery, but if we have something shipping to an area that is not our typical area, so it's going to our typical warehouse, and we need to find a new shipping company to do at least the shipping from whatever warehouse to the job site. Is that a problem, or does it only go to the warehouse that we have listed when we set up our account?
So your warehouse delivery, that's your personal delivery. So if it's going to your warehouse, that's a $75 drop fee. If it's going anywhere outside of your warehouse, it's going to be a $225 drop fee. And that's for any job site. So say you sold a job to your friend in Chicago, but your normal office and warehouse is in New York. We'll still ship to Chicago, but and if we can't do a job site delivery, we can deliver to like a J&J type thing in that area, and that would be $225. And then that company would do that final mile delivery for you. Does that make sense?
So we would just pay that company directly for their.
Yeah. So in any case, so if you're CDS, J&J, PJs, whatever delivery company you use, you would pay them directly to do the final mile delivery.
Okay.
Now, if you list that as your warehouse, then us delivering to that location would only be $75.
Okay.
So we can work through anything like that.
Okay.
With your account. Okay. But we do have trucks going all across the country. So don't be afraid that, hey, I have, I have a friend in Chicago or I have a friend in Seattle and, I want to sell her a kitchen or whatever, we can probably ship there. So if you have a question, don't hesitate to ask your rep or somebody in customer service, and they can verify, make sure, yeah, we do have a truck route that typically goes that way every week, every other week. This is what we can get you for lead time, et cetera, et cetera.
Awesome.
Okay. Any other questions?
I do have one more.
Sure, what's up?
I had difficulties with my internet joining it just as we started, and then it just clicked out for like 15 minutes. So I missed part of the beginning. I'm very new to all of Crestwood. So you were talking a little bit about essentials.
Yes.
That's available both in face frame and frameless?
Yes. And that's only available for certain accounts. So it depends on how your account was set up, whether or not that's available to you.
Okay. Is it a lesser expensive line than even core?
Yes, so it's 8% less than core. You're basically taking a core cabinet and then giving an 8% discount because you're limiting even more on your door styles and colors. And the modifications that are allowed.
Okay. So if I can't find a catalog that was delivered to me, then I probably am not set up for essentials.
Probably not. Not a lot of accounts get set up with essentials, just because we kind of limit it because it's not a huge seller for us. It actually takes up more of the plant, and we've cut our costs so much on that we don't really make a lot on it. So we tend to gear more towards like the core and simplicity, where it's kind of, that's really our bread and butter of the quality and the timeline and offering that we try to push out as a semi to full custom cabinet line.
Okay, great, thank you.
Okay. Any other questions?
I don't think so. Not
Okay.
on my side.
All right. Well, what I will do is I will officially end our meeting. If you guys have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to your rep, reach out to me, reach out to customer service. If you haven't already set up CPOPs on your computer, please get in touch with Trevor in our IT department. There's a nice little picture phone directory in the front of all of our catalogs with all of the nice looking faces that you get to talk to. Please don't hesitate to reach out to him to try to get help setting it up if you're not already set up on CPOPs, because this is the way where you're going to quote things and send in your orders and then be able to monitor all of your orders. So you definitely need to get on this system if you're not already there. Okay. Well, I hope you all have a great rest of your afternoon, and look forward to working with all of you.
Thank you so very much.
No problem.
Thank
Have a
you.
great rest of your day.
You too. Bye-bye.